All right, in our last video, we talked about outlining for the narrative essay, and in this video, we're going to talk about writing our introduction paragraph. Okay, so let's look at this handout that I'm going to give you for writing your intro paragraph. But before we do that, actually, let's think about, remember what our writing process is. Say what you're going to say it, say what you said. Okay, and so we're going to start our essay by talking about what our whole essay is going to be about. So if you'll remember, my essay is about my first time away from home, right? That was the question that I answered in the prompt. And this is the handout that I will give you for an introduction paragraph. And it's just some tips from this book from John Langan about the intro paragraph. But some things about the intro paragraph. It has three purposes. Number one, grab the reader's interest. You must start your essays with an interest grabber, right? A hook. And you don't like to read boring stuff, right? If I give you something boring to read, you're checked out for the first couple sentences. If it's boring, you're done. The same thing with me. I mean, granted, I'm paid to read your essay, so I will do that. But you want me to be interested in your essay. That's important, okay? So write a hook that grabs me in. You give any background needed, background information that's needed, and then finally you present your thesis. That's the last sentence of your intro paragraph. Okay, so in this book by John Langan, he gives a couple of examples of things that you can do to create that hook, right? To grab your reader into your story. So you can present a broad introduction of the topic that narrows down to your thesis. You can start with an idea or situation that's the opposite of the one you'll develop. Well, some people think this, but really this is what I'm going to talk about. You can explain the importance of the topic to the reader, like this is why this is important. Maybe you talk about something like big that has to do with your topic. You can use an incident or brief story. That's what I'm going to do. This works really well for the narrative because you're really telling a story. So you're just going to pull us into your story with this hook, or you can use a quotation. This last one, using a quotation, is really easy because all you have to do is a little Google search. But first, you want to be careful about plagiarism because if you put a quote in here, you have to give an attribution, and you have to have a works cited page. So you'll want to make sure that you do that extra step of creating a works cited page. But also, it just ends up sometimes being really trite or common or overused. So again, for this essay, I recommend that you do a brief story, right, and introduce us to your topic that way. So what you're going to do is you're going to write a hook, okay? Give us a couple of sentences to draw you in. You can use one of the methods that we just talked about. Then you're going to transition to your topic, and then you're going to give your thesis. Okay, so here is my example intro paragraph. After we got off the green and gold campus tour bus, I looked at my parents and said, I really want to go here. Truly, I probably would have been happy anywhere because I was just ready to get out of Lubbock and on my own. Baylor was just so fun and so expensive. But after what felt like a couple thousand scholarship applications and an extra SAT prep course that boosted my scores, I was in. It was raining the day we loaded up the truck to take me to Waco, but I was not sad. I could not wait to begin this new journey. Okay, so that was my hook, my transition to my first, right, my extended stay away from home. And then I give my thesis statement. My first extended stay away from home for college at Baylor University was a clear example of how I handle any new project, which is to highlight the positive, downplay the negative, and jump in with both feet. So that is my intro paragraph. And I just want to remind you really quickly, when you're writing your first draft, right, which this is my first draft, you just write, okay? Don't spend too much time editing. Don't spend any time editing or checking your words or wondering where a comma goes where. You just want to get your thoughts out onto the paper. But also, if it's boring to you, it's probably boring to me too. So write something that's interesting, okay? That draws you into the story. And also, this is narrative writing. It is descriptive writing. So you should have lots of details using those 5 senses. What did it look like, sound like, feel like, smell like? Use those 5 senses to paint a picture of that day. Like when I say it's raining when we loaded up the truck, you have a picture in your head of what that looks like. Okay, so use lots of description in that narrative writing. All right, good luck writing your intro paragraphs.